say that they turned down $1 million.
Turned down $1 million?
A friend of ours is an A&R person for a major label, and we were talking about him. Me and Joe were talking with him, and we said, if we were, what would you do? And he said, if you were, I would have a check sent to you tomorrow for $1 million. I said, $1 million? $1 million. And we said no. How many people do you know? I don't know. I know like 5 people ever that have turned down that much money in my entire life.
We could buy a whole block and just be big punk rockers
we could
forever.
be punk as fuck with $1 million. We could buy more crusty patches than anybody has ever.
I don't understand what that says for. Shut up, Neil. You toothless whiny bitch.
The only thing that I do support, and I don't go there, and I support it in a fashion of I'll play music and hopefully people will pay and we'll give the money, is Richmond Food Not Bombs. That's the only one that I hold anywhere near or dear. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm into that. I'm just into the fact that it's in Richmond. And that it's part of my community. I don't want to do anything with it. I don't want to cook for it. I don't even want to go to it. But, you know, I mean, for real, I mean,
I don't.
Avail has kept, according to the people that run Food Not Bombs, Avail has kept Food Not Bombs running for the last 2 or 3 years.
How?
because we play benefits in our hometown like 2 times a year, never take any money, and give it all to Food Not Bombs. So I mean, we probably give close to around $3,000 to $4,000 a year to Food Not Bombs.
Wow.
So that's what we do, you know. And Tim is active in Food Not Bombs. Me and Joe aren't active in Food Not Bombs. Me and Joe have been there once. So that's my activity in Food Not Bombs. Is I'm gonna play and do my thing and give you money, but not any politics.
Why is Food Not Bombs? I mean,
Like, what do you mean by what is it? Like, basically it's like a bunch of people that get together, you know, like cook. And like one of the things is to like, there are I guess a couple of like, issues like behind Food Not Bombs, such as like the fact that the unit spends so much money on the military. You know, like if you were to reduce military spending, you know, for like this defense or whatever it is that they call it these days, you'd be able to feed all the hungry people in this country. There's also like the decriminalization or like people are ashamed to be like poor or to be hungry or to take handouts, and it's not a handout. It's like we're sharing food. You're welcome to come back with us and help us clean up. You're welcome to come the next week and like help us cook or help us in any way you can if you feel like it. If not, it's a no strings attached deal. You don't have to listen to us preach. You don't have to even agree with us. You're really obnoxious. We may not want you to eat near us, but that's about it. A bunch of people who are doing stuff at ABC No Rio decided it would be kind of cool to do a Food Not Bombs, at ABC No Rio. And so they actually built this whole kitchen. This used to be, I guess, just an extension of the gallery before. And they built like this wall, and that, I don't know if they built that wall, maybe that was already there from the bathroom. But they built like this wall, and they put in the sink, the refrigerator, they found the stove. And eventually, they got stuff for counters, and they put in these floors too, which aren't really that good, I guess, but it's something.
and why did you decide to do Food Not Bombs?
Well, I kept reading about it, and different magazines, every time people write an article about ABC No Rio, they mention 1 or 2 sentences about Food Not Bombs. A lot of vegetarian publications at the time were talking about Food Not Bombs, and so it was just a matter of me just actually getting up early enough and coming in, to help out. What else do I do?
Yeah.
Well, I do some of the visual arts stuff around here. I'm one of the contact people. In January, I'm setting up a prisoner art show here with a woman from Florida that does a lot of prisoner support work. I'm a contact person for stuff non-hardcore events. Next month, I'm the contact person for an improvisational jazz type drumming show. What else do I do? I deal with the money at ABC, which is probably why it's in such disarray. I also volunteer at Blackout, which is on Avenue B. It's the anarchist, collectively run bookstore. And I also squat, so I do some stuff with my building, just basic, trying to keep it clean whenever I'm motivated enough to sweep the stairs,
I'd spent a long time, I lived in a squat when I first got here, on the Lower East Side, and me and a guy called Ralph, you ain't gonna ask me to look at the camera, are you?
Nah.
Me and a guy called Ralph decided, he lived in a squat across the road from mine on East 8th Street, and both our squats didn't have roofs on them, so we wanted to get together money to buy material to build our roofs. And we came up with the idea, at the time I was in nausea, we came up with the idea of putting together a benefit show with some Lower East Side bands. We done the first one and we called it Squat or Rock, and that one was really successful, so we decided to do another one, done another one. We started moving the Squat or Rock shows around different spaces and that, and as the neighbourhood got gentrified, or yuppier, I don't know what term you want to use, it got harder and harder to find spaces to do events in, benefit events, and then I broke up from Squat or Rock and started doing Tribal War, and the only places for me to do shows were clubs, and I hate doing shows in clubs. To me that's not what punk bands are about, and it's not what punk's about. He's